Hi, my name is Drew and today I'm going to show you how easy it is to use FireDB. I'm using Safari 4 on the Mac for this demo, so let's log in and get started. On the left, you'll see the sidebar. This gives you easy access to queries, the calendar, and site admin tools. I want to make some changes to my database, so let's open up site admin. This section shows me all of my entities. You can think of these as tables within a database. In this example, I want to capture some information about people. I'll click the New Entity button, enter in a name, my people, and a description. Now, instead of starting from scratch, I'm going to base my entity on the person template. This is going to create all the fields FireDB thinks I might need when dealing with people, and it's going to save me a whole heap of time. FireDB uses object inheritance through its entity templates. This means when you create an entity based on a template, it will inherit all properties of that template. You'll hear more about this in another video. As a designer, I have control to show and hide fields, set defaults, requiredness, and much more. To make life easy in this demo, I've hidden many of the fields in other parts of the application. Now, I want to create a form to capture some data from my entity. I don't have much time, so I'll knock something quickly up using our form designer. Under the My People entity, we'll see a section for forms and new form. Let's take a quick look around. On the left, you'll see the available controls. In the middle is the canvas, and on the right is our handy control inspector and control properties. I'm going to start by dragging a tab panel onto the form. So I'll find my tab panel here under containers and place it on the form. Now I can drag this around wherever I like and even resize this. And I might change the size of my form as well to accommodate. Okay, now let's add some text fields. I'll start with one text field. We'll call this first name. Now you notice when I change the name of this field, it'll change in the control inspector, but I haven't yet bound it up to anything. We can see there's a data binding section here for this field, and I can select a field in my database. I'll choose first name for this. I'll also give this the first tab index. I'll go ahead and do the same thing for last name. We'll give this a tab index of 2 and choose last name. I'll also add a third text field, and this one can be my date of birth or birth date. Great. Now I'll move along to tab number 2, and you can see when I change tabs, the information inside does change as well. We'll add another field for gender. And we'll just give this one a tab index of 4. And there we go. It's as simple as that. Now once again, I can resize. If I like to as well, I can use the control panel and I might want to start from a particular point, say 120 left, and a width of 120 as well. Now I can do that across all of my fields to make sure they're all lined up. And it's as simple as that. Alrighty, I'm pretty happy with this form as an example, so I'm just going to hit OK. We'll refresh and see that my new form has been created. And now we're ready to take a look at my database. I'll go back to queries where we started off, and we're going to make a new query now. So I'll right click personal queries and select new. We'll call this query my people. And base it on the entity my people. We'll be able to select a default form to use when dealing with these with the my people records. And if I just click in here, I'll be able to select from a list of forms. We only have one that we've made so far, so I'll choose that. Moving along to the display fields, what we see on screen, I'm going to want to select things like first name and last name for my query. And we'll have plenty of space, so I'll pop in birth date and gender. I'm going to make first name and last name editable, and we'll even sort by last name ascending. So I have full control here, you can see, to display all the fields I like, and I can also filter by any particular field I like, but I'll leave the filters for now and just create my query as is. Now, as we can see, there's no data within this my people entity because we've just created it. We're going to want to hit new to start adding some records in. Now we can see just after hitting new, my form has loaded up, and this was the form we just created. Gender is populated, birth date is using a date control, and the other inputs are just standard. So let's add some information for John Smith. Select a date. His birth date's probably going to be more like that. And we'll also make John a male. Now I can also refresh the background while the form's still open, and we can see that information's been entered in there. Alrighty, by hitting the Save and New button, I can save that record information and just clear the form, ready for some new information. I'll just hit OK to this third record. There we go, and we can see the sorting happening already as well. Now if I like, I can edit the first and last name rows as we made them editable in our query. And they automatically update for us as well. Now, I've already created some other entities in this database. You can see I have individual query, and this keeps track of information for individuals. I've got business contacts and all contacts as well. Let's take a look at the individual contacts. We might open Don Johnson and take a look at a form that we've created earlier. As we can see, our form design, the form that we designed earlier, only touched briefly on what we can do. There's actually a lot more to designing forms, and we can spend a lot more time doing so. We've got an audit trail to keep track of all the different changes, and a lot more, which we'll go into detail in other demos. So I'll just cancel out of this for now. Now, I wanted to recap from an idea earlier in this video before we leave. Entities can be based on templates, as we saw, and this template system is a form of inheritance. That means that entities can share common properties with one another, and what it should mean is that we can query on all entities that are based on the same template. Let's have a look at our all contacts query. Now this is based on a template we call party, which encompasses everything from individuals to businesses. As we can see here, through the record type, we have users, individual contacts, and business contacts within this query. If we scroll down to the very bottom, we can also see we have My People contacts as well. So just by adding these contacts earlier on in the My People query and adding that data in there, we're actually able to access it through other various queries and other parts of the application, because the application knows that the My People entity is based on person, just like other entities in this database. So we have some very powerful behind the scenes tools that allow us to do what you've seen today. Now this was just a quick look into how easy it is to create forms and start adding data with FireDB, as well as some of the smarts we're using behind the scenes to make your life a little bit easier. Stay tuned for more videos, which you can find at firedb.com.